This is what I want people to think about Recital. I want you to think of it as the Super Bowl, the World Series, the Olympics, because it really is your moneymaker and it's your biggest show for the whole year. Think about it, this is some of the biggest things that some of these dancers will ever be able to get up, or kids ever be able to get up on stage and do. No matter if they didn't do the dance very well or if they were great, you see me across that stage with a little bit of that light in the background. They know that their dance teacher loved them, and I'm so proud. Honey, we worked this whole year. We're not going to let it fail by one little thing. We're not going to do that.
Hey, welcome back to Dance Studio Advertising. If you're watching on video, you already know this is going to be a wild episode. And if you're on audio only, I have a very good friend of mine, the one, the only Miss Julie K, joining me today. How are you, Miss Julie K?
I'm great. I'm like, okay, was that bad that you're like, you already know that it's going to be wild?
Listen, it's the vibe. You have a brand, and we're gonna stay on brand. How about that?
I am wild. You never know. My whole life, all I've ever wanted people to say is she's unpredictable.
I think we can say that with a
Okay,
high
good.
level of confidence.
Okay.
Well, speaking of unpredictable, recital season is right around the corner. You and I were having a chat last week, and it kind of made sense to have this chat with all of the crazy that is about to come down the line for just about every studio owner in America. You grew up in this world. What's your take on recital? How can we stay sane during it? What do you think?
Okay, so this is what I want people to think about Recital. I want you to think of it as the Super Bowl, the World Series, the Olympics, because I feel in the past couple of years, probably more than a couple of years, let's say before 2020 even, like before COVID, I felt that people just were like, oh, it's another thing I have to go buy a ticket to and go to. This is the biggest thing. This is like the UDA going to see Ohio and Minnesota, like who's going to win. Like this is what this needs to be for dance studios, because it really is your moneymaker and it's your biggest show for the whole year. So I feel that kids should be excited about learning their routine. They should be prepped really, really well for it from the dance teacher side. Think about it, this is some of the biggest things that some of these dancers will ever be able to get up, or kids ever be able to get up on stage and do. And I feel that it is our duty as educators and dance studio owners to be able to provide that one moment that they will never forget for the rest of their life. They get flowers afterwards. They get cards from their parents. Their grandparents are there welcoming them with open arms. Their dance teachers off the side jumping up and down. And it is my motto that every time they finish, no matter if they didn't do the dance very well or if they were great, you see me across that stage with a little bit of that light in the background. They know that their dance teacher loved them, and I'm so proud. And they are so happy going off. And there's tears rolling down my face because I did exactly what I wanted to do, is make magic for that kid.
See, I love this too. And I come at it from a different perspective, which is that of a marketer. And for the same reasons, this is the biggest, it's a high, it's an emotional high. Everybody's gathered in one room and everybody's about to go on summer break, at least here in the States. Everybody's going to go away for 3 months, 4 months. And this is the moment when emotion is highest and they're most likely to answer the question, should we do this again next year? So even
Correct.
from a marketing perspective, from a buying and selling perspective, I agree 100%.
And I think what happens is adults and their life gets so busy and they're like, just one part of the weekend that we have to do, but this is everything for that kid.
For them, yeah.
And that's why I'm like, don't overload your weekend, people. Like, this is it. This is the grand slam where everybody gets to win. The first and second and third base. I'm a diehard baseball fan. So it's like everybody, I want everybody ready to go and cheering them on. And there's something new that I'm trying to implement in studios. You know, there's nothing worse like a crowd not really clapping for you. You know what I mean? Especially like if you're like the third to last dance and everybody's kind of left the
They're
theater.
getting tired.
Yeah, they're getting tired. I feel like we need glow sticks in the audience. I feel like we need pom-poms in the audience with our dance studio names on them, because you know what? That is the moment where we need our biggest cheerleaders.
All right, so nuts and bolts, practical. You've come up in this world. You've seen a lot of stuff. What are the mistakes that studio owners are making going into that weekend that sets them up to fail rather than have this huge emotional win that you just kind of laid out?
I feel they don't have backups. And so like I'm an A, B, and C plan girl. Like, you know, if A didn't work, what am I going to do in plan B? And I think that a lot of people don't have that B plan or C plan. So I call it my recital Bible, and I have my own recital Bible. And it has all of the pictures of the kids that are in the studio, like, or that are ready. Like, let's say that their first position position, their second position, their third position. So I know where they're going to be going, how they're supposed to be lined up. Do they start on stage? Do they start off stage? What kind of lighting is it going to look like behind them? Do they have a prop? Do they have a hat that I might need to be concerned about? Do they have tap shoes on? I got to make sure they're double knotted. If there's ballet shoes, those little antennas have got to be tucked under. I've got to have all of this stuff. So if I didn't have my binder full of all of that material along with my choreography, and I type up all my choreography, and you better believe that I put that choreography right on the leg of that theater just in case my brain goes kapoop. And I mean it, because you know what? If I'm doing 10 recital routines, I mean, I got to remember them, right?
That's
And
right.
I just got to make sure that I have the A, B, the C plan. How am I going to get them from backstage to the lineup? What if they're crying? What do we do? And it's like these little squishmallows. I'm like, okay, here's the deal. You're crying. You're going to fall apart. But guess what? On the other side, I've got a surprise for you. Boom, they start crying. Or if they don't want that, I'm like, you know what? I got a little bit of glitter and I sprinkle it right on their head right before they go on. And that magic is going to, I mean, I'm telling you, I can get rid of a fearful moment in a second. And I just love it like that. But that's how you have to plan. And I feel that what happens is when dance teachers get backstage, they're freaking out because they're worried about so many other things. And it has to be that class, that focus at that time. So then that class succeeds. You know what? You focus on what's happening right before you. And if there's problems behind the scenes, just say, I'm not there yet. Let me work on this because they deserve my full undivided attention. And then when those babies are off, you get on to the next. So you got to have an A, B, or C plan. Hopefully it never
It's
gets to
focusing on what matters when it matters. That group that's right there in front of you instead of trying to solve all the problems all at once. That's
Yeah, you can't
good.
carry all that.
That's good. A little bit of glitter and a couple of glow sticks go a long way, huh?
Honey, let me tell you something. That glitter, it makes everybody happy. I mean, I put it on their hands, I put it in their hair, like whatever it takes. I mean, I've dumped it on me before. I mean, it's like the Billy Madison scene where
Yep.
he pees his pants. He goes, well, to pee your pants is cool,
Yeah,
right? I'll do whatever it
everybody
takes to
pees pants. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that movie. But it's true though. You do whatever it takes as an educator to make that kid feel confident and good to go on stage. Honey, we worked this whole year. We're not going to let it fail by one little thing. We're not going to do that.
That's so good. Keeping that perspective of this is the payoff, this is a celebration rather than I mean, one of the things that I've noticed, and keep in mind, I've only ever been to 3 recitals and they were my daughter's recital. So I have a lot less experience in this. And I was in the audience and I was, there just to see my child. And here's the thing, just to remind studio owners, if my daughter missed a step, do you know how little I cared? I was just thrilled to see my daughter on stage, thrilled to see her with her friends doing what she loves doing. Like, I didn't care. Nobody cares. And I think so many times studio owners think that this becomes, maybe it's a false sense of pressure, but it's like, this is what becomes representative of my studio. So you better get this dance right because everybody's going to think about me if you get it wrong. And I just think that's such a mistake.
I think it has to do with age too. When I was 25, I put so much pressure on myself. And now that I'm 47, I'm like, you know what? We got to enjoy this because you know what? It can go away in an instant.
Yeah.
And it's like Disneyland. It's the magic that you have to keep in that environment. And you know what? There are so many things happening backstage. The best thing you could do is make it the most warming, loving environment. Like we've got teddy bears backstage for kids when they're sitting down waiting if they're stressed. Like you've just got to be prepared for all of those things. And I'm scared of the dark and I'm 47 years old. I've always got a flashlight with me back there. And plus I don't want anybody to fall. So like if I can get like a
Yeah.
little fiber optic like glow stick or whatnot, and some kid is like holding it, or Rubik's cubes make all the biggest difference in the world. Like something just, or like a fidget toy,
Yeah.
it takes their mind off of the
Yeah.
tornado that's in their brain and they're focused on that and we're ready to go.
I love that. Okay, so what other things should studio owners be thinking about as they're gearing up for a recital? Because again, this, in one sense, we're saying don't take it so seriously. But on the other side of this, you started by saying this is your Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that goes into the Super Bowl to make it happen. So what
Yep.
else can studio owners be thinking about now that's going to help them be really, really successful, not just in the performance and the calming the nerves aspects, but in just the larger business experience that they're having? Because this is part of the business, but the business does not exist for recital. That's
Correct.
just one part of it.
I'll give you two perspectives from the dance studio owner perspective. Okay. For an owner, because I was an owner and I've done all this. The clients have to feel good once they walk in the door. So a greeter is something that I missed along the way. You need to have a greeter at every door. Welcome to our 15th annual recital. Light the fire within. I'm Miss Julie K. How can I help you? Can you imagine just that customer? Like, because,
Yeah.
frantically, where are my tickets? Oh my God, what's happening? Right. So, greeters and people with signs of like, hey, I'm here to help you, a shirt that says, I'm here to help you, whatever it is, they need to feel the support from the moment that they couldn't find parking, they spilt coffee on themselves, their
That's
kid's
right.
tap shoe is now untied, their tights are ripped. All of those things happen. And you know what? It's okay. We're going to go backstage and it's good. It's all good. We're going to make it happen. So it's the pressure of that. So when that door opens, we got your back. We're ready to go. It's showtime, baby. It's
Mm.
showtime. And I think about that scene in Beetlejuice, and he goes, "It's showtime," and it's like one of my favorite things in the world. That's exactly what it is for me. It's showtime,
Yeah.
honey. Suit up and show up. We're going to make it happen. So whenever we're good on the front lobby part, that's important. But sometimes the studio owner is so worried about what's on the back end that the front end of the theater is not
Yeah.
looked after. And there needs to be people that are happy, excited to be there. We're so excited for you to be there. Come over here and let's take some pictures. Make sure you're tagging us. All of those things to help with your brand. Then backstage, like, I mean, just like I said, you've got to have everything labeled. But before recital and all that happens, we got to make sure that the plays for football, and I always go to
Yeah.
sports with this. Like, you're the coach. You got to make sure all the plays are right. Where are they standing? Who's the line leader? And then practice that inside. So what I do is I put cones, I get cones, and I label them 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So they know which cone they're going to line up in front of. But I also make it to where it's fun, where I'm like, okay, these are the green Skittles. These are going to be the M&Ms, and these are going to be the Swedish fish. Which line are you in? So when I label them in the classroom,
So
like
good.
really, really fun, like candies. So they know what line they're in. So when they're backstage, I'm like, okay, what candy are you? Perfect. And then backstage, I label the 1, 2, and 3, and then the labels, the Skittles and whatnot. So then we're already lined up and ready to go. But all of it starts with lining it up in the classroom so they understand. Do the entrances and the exits, right?
So
Before
good.
they're forming, right? How do we
Yep.
get on stage? I have a long rope and I'm like, all right, Sally or Scotty the snake, let's walk on with the snake, right? We're holding the rope, okay? Don't wiggle too much, right? We got to stay on task, right? We don't want the snake to get out of control. They walk on stage. I say, drop it. They drop it. The teacher walks off and then I say, pop it. And that's their first pose ready to go. Drop it and pop it. So then when the lights go out, that's Sally or Scotty the snake, whichever they want to decide, takes them off. We walk straight back to the room and we're ready to go. But we practice
Really
that inside
good.
the classroom with the rope on how to do ballet when they're younger, how to walk on and walk off. We jump over Sally. We do all kinds of things, but it's all in preparation for the plays to be right for game day, which is our recital.
Yeah.
But you
Super
got to
Bowl.
have it all. I mean, different plays. You know what I mean? Like sometimes
Hmm.
this play ain't going to work. The kid's falling on the floor, screaming and crying. This kid just peeping down her tights. What's going to happen? Like, you just got to be ready. You get a hair dryer, you're ready to go. We dried it all up. You're ready to go on stage. Let's go. I mean, and that sounds
Yeah.
silly, but these
No.
are the real things that happen. And so I'm talking about the real deal. You got to have the game day, all of it ready to go. And guess what? When it's coach time, you're a leader. You're an example for those kids. You got to be the example backstage as you are on stage, 100%, and in the
Hmm.
class. So that's how you don't fail. You put the plays out there. You're ready to go. And one more tip that is my life-saving tip: your lineup, right, for like little kids under ages of 6. How they are on your attendance sheet is how you line them up in the straight line. So then you automatically know. I can label my dots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So guess what, Bryce? You're always number 3. So you know when that number is on the floor, when you
That's
walk
my
on
number.
stage, that you're going to be on number 3 because you've already been trained from the classroom to the stage.
So this is really good because when I was in college, I was very much involved in the theater, sometimes on the stage, but oftentimes backstage as a stage manager.
Mhm.
And we had rules. There were very clear rules that, like, for example, if you're a front of house, you never run. It doesn't matter what's going. Now, backstage, you need to sprint from here to there to get something to somebody on time. Fine. But you hit front of house, you slow to a very casual walk.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
as soon as you're backstage again, you can sprint like you're good.
Your green light.
You could go. But I love what you said. And really the theme here, like for those who aren't picking up what she's putting down, an ounce of preparation goes a long way, right? Like that's the
Oh,
bottom line. But practicing the small transitions, I think that's that's brilliant. Practicing
They
how we're
know.
going to walk in and out in the studio before we're ever in the theater, before we're dealing with lights, before we're dealing with curtains and ropes that we can't touch. Like, we're just going to focus on what we can manage
Mhm.
and practice those transitions. That is brilliant. I've never heard anybody say that. That's really good.
Because here's the thing, there's those vinyl dots that everybody uses, right? It comes
Yeah.
off with nail polish remover, but you don't even need to do that. You just number them one
Yeah.
through 17, one through whatever. And that's that kid's number
Every
for
time.
the whole year, and you're ready to go. And a lot of times parents are like, well, which side is my kid going to be on? They're number 6, so they're going to be pretty much right in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, they know the number because we show them the number. You see what I mean? So there's no
Yeah.
questions on tickets either.
Yeah.
You got to be smart about it.
All right, so here's another thing that, again, just observation for those who are paying attention. If you want to take some notes, Julie, you haven't really said it, but you've told the stories of the examples of it. It's just simplify, simplify, simplify.
Yeah.
Like, that's so simple, just to have numbers on the ground. And hey, if you're number 3, you're always number 3. That's really easy. We don't need to overcomplicate that. That's easy. Everybody can do that, and you can
Anybody
do
can
it
do that.
tomorrow.
You have
Yeah,
to
that's
think about
great.
it like it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. And how I've simplified this, I've been traveling for 8 years with Ellie Dance Magic, and I've been in every airport that I can ever imagine. And there's airports that are a disaster,
Yeah,
and there's airports that are labeled and organized perfectly.
the
And it's like
wayfinding. Yeah.
and you know what? One of the most stressful things in the world is traveling for people. So it's got to be point on. For me, like I love, and people might not like it, but if they actually think about the layout of it, it's genius. The Atlanta airport is laid out perfectly because when you're walking down the
Mm.
hall, the signage is out there so I can see Little Rock, Arkansas. Perfect. You know what? Instead of having to look, they make it very simple. So you have to think of like an airport. And when I'm in
Mm.
airport, I study that because I'm like, okay, everybody has to find terminal B14. There, it's all by a letter and a number. So think about that when you're doing it. Group A, Group B, Group C, and number 1, number 2, number 3. And so you have to
Smart.
label it.
Super smart. I was going to say wayfinding. The last recital that we went to, it was hosted. I mean, my daughter danced at the facility at the studio. Of course, the show was not being hosted at the studio. It was in a rented space that I had never been to. And we showed up, and it was one building of about 4 buildings in a shared parking lot. And there was no labeling, no balloons out, no big sign that said recital this way, no, nothing. And so we ended up, my wife and I, we found it on our second building, but we had to go into 2 buildings to try to find the recital, which
There's
is
your
a little
stress.
bit absurd.
We're not doing this again next year, honey. We're not doing it. It's too stressful. That's what you hear.
100%. 100%.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's why it's like why if you think about when you get married, you get to save the date, right? And then you get a map of where it is. You need to do it 100%. When tickets go on sale, you show them. Think about it. The star is here. You are here. You need to
Yeah.
be here. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, and well, and communication's super hard. This is an area it's just hard anyway, to be honest, because words often fail. I can say something, you hear me say it, but it means something different to you. So it's hard anyway. But then studio owners with the 5,000 things that they have to do, it just gets lost. And
It
so
does.
now it becomes cultural knowledge where people are like, oh, it's always at the same theater and we have to get there 45 minutes early. But if you don't say that explicitly, your new families, they're not going to pick up what you're putting down.
It's so
They're
hard
not
because
coming
you know
back.
what? Some of these people have 3 or 4 or 5 kids. You know what I mean? They're different things. And
Yeah.
that's why I always think like I know I love emails and I think, Facebook and all these communications online are great, but there is nothing greater than a text coming through with
Yeah.
something click in and go, boom, going to Robinson Theater, boom, don't forget to come in and bring your garment bag, whatever it is. Like people need more reminders than ever because
Correct.
sometimes they can't find an email. Sometimes that they don't think it ever came in or it's in spam or it's blah, blah, blah. But they can always rely on that text that came in that early morning around 7 o'clock before they're about to head out of the house at 9 o'clock. And they're like, okay, I feel good. Just going to click that button. Once I get in the car, it's going to take me right there.
Yep. Making it easy.
Check in with Miss Julie K or whatever.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, on the marketing side, when we started Dance Motion Marketing, we didn't have any of the tools that we have today. We didn't hardly even know the business. And as soon as we started integrating SMS and text messaging for our clients, so they could text their leads instead of emailing their leads or calling their leads. Some people love to talk on the phone. Other people avoid it like the plague, you know? And as soon as we introduced SMS and text messaging, true two-way text messaging,
Yeah.
holy smokes, was that a game changer because we saw response rates go up, trial rates went up,
Yeah.
everything just, so yeah, I'm
Everybody is
100%
on
with
the
you
phone.
all
They're
the
on
time.
the phone. Yeah.
Okay, so studio owners, they're gearing up for this big Super Bowl event. Hopefully they're starting to shift their mindset away away from this is just one more thing that I have to get through, like one more thing to survive. And like, no, I'm going to show up with energy. Also, worth noting, you and I both do this naturally, or maybe not so naturally. I don't know. But people match the intensity of the energy that you bring.
100%.
And I don't think people realize that.
Oh, I mean, that's why I feel like people around me, they're so excited because I am that teacher that's the cheerleader. I'm like, I wake up, I have never woken up on a recital morning and gone, oh my God, I have to go do this
Mhm.
ever. Like, I'm like, I might think, oh God, what are all the things that I need to go through in my mind right now? But I always have checklists for every single class. So then I feel better. Obviously, I've been doing it a long time. I wake up and I go, I'm going to change somebody's life today.
Yeah.
I mean, in seeing their parents happy, I think too, I lost my dad when I was a senior in high school, and my mom died shortly after our my daughter Zeta was born. And it was like, I look at that and I think, what a blessing that that kid has their grandparents or
Mm.
they've got their parents. So it's extra special to me because I don't have my parents anymore. So I think sometimes we take it for granted of how wonderful it's a community event, and we need to think of it as a family. It is a family affair. People are
Yeah,
coming
it
all
is.
over to see this, and this is big for them. They're going to talk about this. This picture is going to go up on grandma's shelf. Like it's important. We're going to sit and watch this one day and laugh and have the best time ever. That's the flip book magic of your life, the memories that stick with. I mean, I'm constantly going, I wish I had my first recital video. I have no idea where it is. No clue, but I would give anything to be able to show my daughter that
Mm.
because we share that same love of dance. You know what I mean? And so it's,
Yeah.
and she sits there and watches all of her rehearsals and all of it. Like it means so much to her. And like I said earlier, sometimes this is the only big event that these kids will ever feel a part of. So it's important to make every child every teacher has those eyes on those kids going, you're going to be great. You're going to do this. And then afterwards, having another group of people over there going, you did it. It's like, I mean, I always think of it like as because my son played football. There's nothing better than watching him run through the run, like the what's it called? Like
Yeah.
the run
At the
block,
beginning, the flag.
at the
Yeah.
beginning. So Coach Lucas, who's our coach, he's out there and he's talking to the kids and he's like, all right, let's go. And he pushes and he jumps through. And it's my favorite thing to see because he's like the coach leading his team to no matter if it was a failure of a football game or a victory, for that moment, those kids thought that they could conquer the world. And that's important to be a
Mm.
coach, to be a leader. It's truly what I signed up to be. I didn't sign up for this to just make millions of dollars because dance teaching is different. I signed up because this was a God-given talent and a base that my parents implemented me and signed me up for.
So let me ask you this, because we're going to shift a little bit like philosophical, maybe. We're going a different direction, less nuts and bolts, more mindset and attitude, because what you've just described hits me very personally, that idea of laying down your life and showing up for others. Like it's not about how the show goes. It's about really keeping the focus on the child, really helping them to find their footing, that confidence, the big win, because that might be, like you said, the only big win they ever experience. And it could be all downhill from here. Like we don't know what happens to that child. How do you do? I mean, for you, where did that come from? Because I'm sure there's people who just truthfully can't relate to that at all. It's like I have a business to run and I have bills to pay, and this may sound pretty foreign to them with that idea of just child for. Like, where does that come from for you?
Bryce, people tell me this all the time. Like they think I'm fake sometimes. They're like, is that a real person? Is
Hmm.
she really that excited every day to teach dance? I'm telling you, I don't know what it is inside of me. I don't know. All I can think of is it's an extra sprinkle that God put inside my body. I don't know, but I have been this way my entire life. But my dad said something to me when I was a little kid, and I thought it was weird, but I actually live by it now.
Hmm.
If you don't wake up loving what you do, you actually need to quit because you will not service it the way that you need to service it. So I wake up every day going, how can I be a better dance teacher? What worksheets can I do now? How can I, like, I mean, I don't own this dance studio where I work and I'm buying soap for okay, I'm like, okay, wait, we ran out of soap. Okay, how can I, like, I'm thinking of all of the things because you know what? I cannot wait to escape this world that we live in sometimes to go into my play world. It's a play world to me.
Hmm.
I get to do the wheels on the bus go round and around 155 times a day. I get to do the goldfish song. I get to watch a kid sickle their foot in their bot mob, but then they finally get it after 4 or 5 months or never. And I'm still proud of that sickled foot. The growth, there's no other thing in life like it to me.
Hmm.
I get to see these kids. I get to watch them grow up. I get to hopefully give them the confidence to book a job one day, not in the dance world, just in life, and them go,
Hmm.
yeah, I just need another Miss Julie K in my life. She really believed in me. Because honestly, Ain't nobody in the world better than my dance teacher. My Miss Karen
Mm.
changed my life. And let me tell you something. I knew she was the greatest person I had ever met. When my mother died, I said, Miss Karen, I don't know what I'm going to do with my kids the night I have to go the viewing for my mom. And she was like, well, I'm going to watch them. I'm going to watch them. And I said, are you sure? And she goes, yeah. So Daryl and I went off to look at mama and, just to talk to everybody. And when I came back that night, I hear splashing and laughing. And all the three kids were in the bathtub. And here she was just taking care of it for me. Like that kind of relationship,
Yeah.
that's investment, that's life, but that's the kind of person she was. She taught me to be. She taught me how to be a wonderful, godly Christian that was like, hey, lead with your heart, know that you've got a path. And I've lived with that my whole life. And people, when I moved to California, thought it was like the weirdest thing. They were like, man, how do you have this? I'm like, I don't know. This little Southern woman, Miss Karen, just put it inside of me. And my
Yeah.
husband feels the same way about Miss Karen. We all do. Thank God for people like that in your life because they are magic. And that's what I wanted to do, carrying her legacy through. So there's not going to be empty in Julie K. It's not. It's going to be fueled because I know I've got something better to get up and do every day.
Mm.
Because we're supposed to serve people in life. We're supposed to be good examples. There's some days where I'm a horrible example and I'm not a great person. But as I say, at every event I've ever had, I wake up a beginner and I go to bed better. Some days I'm not going to do great. I'm not going to be a
Mm.
great mom. I'm not going to be a great wife. I'm not going to be a great friend. I've messed up, but I can always go to bed and wake up a beginner and learn even more the next day better, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a fire within me. I don't know what it is, and I'm grateful I have it.
Well, I'm grateful that you have it too. I mean, I think the world needs more Julie K energy in it, to be honest. Just because there's a lot of I mean, there's a lot. People are going through a lot. And when you show up to be a beacon, to serve and not to be served, and we really live life from that perspective, it changes people
It
in
does.
very meaningful ways, sometimes ways that we can't quantify or even begin to understand. But it
No.
really does make a difference. And so I appreciate the energy. I appreciate just being real and bringing that perspective because I do think that when the to-do list gets a mile long, and real
Yeah.
talk, like every studio owner has more to do than there are hours in the day. And that's just how it is. But when we lose sight of the main thing, which is
Oh,
we are here to empower, to equip the next generation of kids, of leaders with self-confidence, with discipline, with teamwork, with all those soft skills that dance provides to children. When we keep that the main thing and it's all about them and it's not about me, man, that's pretty powerful. So I hope that that's the thing more than the nuts and bolts that we started with. I hope that that's the thing
I
that
mean, you got
studio
to
owners
love
take
it.
away.
You got to love it. And burnout, let me tell you something. I hit burnout when I moved to Arkansas so bad. I was brought to my knees. But let me tell you something. The version of who I am right now, 5 years later, like the fire and excitement of the things that I have planned for my future, I can't even contain myself of how excited and motivated that I am. So it's okay to fall, hit rock
Yeah.
bottom. It's how and what you're listening to and what you're feeding your brain with, who you're hanging out with, how you're almost rebirthing yourself after feeling like you've died. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I love that. I mean, I guess there's a reason I'm a redheaded Scorpio. I don't know. I don't, you know what I mean? Like it says a lot.
Quite the combination.
Oh God, I'll pray for you.
I'll pray for Daryl.
Hi, everybody. Praise for Daryl.
Well, Julie, it was great to have you on. You are welcome back here anytime. And I don't mean that facetiously or as an empty promise. Anytime you want to come back, feel like you have something to say, I would love to give you the microphone because I just think we need, collectively, we need more Julie K in the world. So thanks for showing up, for being real, as you always are. And I guess we'll look past the fact that you're a Yankees fan.
I mean, don't hate me.
All good. Well, thanks so much for joining me. Really do appreciate it.
Love you. Mwah.